The story begins in the sacred era of the 12th century, when Jerusalem was engulfed in blood and ashes due to the Crusades. During this time, an organization emerged that would go down in history as the Knights Templar. These warriors had only one goal: to protect the Holy Land. But no one could have imagined their end would be so horrifying and mysterious. The Knights Templar took on the responsibility of protecting pilgrims traveling to Jerusalem during the Crusades. They were considered the holiest warriors of Christianity. But their power was not just in their swords. Their true strength lay in their wealth and financial system. They were the pioneers of medieval banking. Kings and nobles entrusted them with their riches. The wealth of the Knights Templar grew so much that they indirectly controlled several countries in Europe. However, this power ultimately led to their downfall. King Philip IV of France, known as Philip the Fair, was in a precarious position. His treasury was empty, and the Knights Templar were his largest creditors. Philip realized that if the Templars were wiped out, he could free himself from his debts and seize their immense wealth. But this was no easy task. The Knights Templar were not just warriors. They were beloved by the public and the church. The king needed a dangerous plan, and that plan turned October 13th, 1307 into a day of infamy. It was a Friday morning. As the first rays of sunlight touched the streets of France, the king's soldiers spread out everywhere. Following the king's orders, hundreds of Knights Templar members were arrested. They were accused of heresy, devil worship, and immoral acts. But in reality, these charges were mere pretexts. In the weeks that followed, the arrested Templar members were subjected to brutal torture. They were chained in dark dungeons, burned with fire, had their bones broken, and were starved. Under the pressure of torture, many members confessed to false charges. But there were a few who, despite immense suffering, upheld their organization's honor and faith. The Grand Master of the Knights Templar, Jacques de Molay, was specifically targeted. He stood as a challenge to both the king and the church. In 1314, he was publicly burned alive in Paris. Before his death, Jacques de Molay cursed King Philip and Pope Clement, declaring they would both die within a year. The most mysterious part of the story is that both the king and the Pope died the following year. The Knights Templar were destroyed, but their stories and mysteries remained. What happened to their treasure? What was the meaning of their secret rituals? Did their organization truly end, or do they still exist under a hidden name? Even today, historians and explorers continue to search for the treasures and symbols of the Knights Templar. This dark chapter of October 13th, 1307 deeply cemented the belief that Friday the 13th is an unlucky day. This story reminds us how justice can be crushed under the weight of power, wealth, and politics. Is this just a historical event, or does it still live on in the form of a secret conspiracy? The thought sends chills down the spine. If you like this video, please like and share it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel because in the next video, we'll talk about another fascinating topic. Until then, take care. See you in the next story.